The girl's so lovesick she's back to eating fistfuls of dirt every night. Meanwhile, her brother just catches a glimpse of this pretty girl and suddenly sees himself with 17 kids in the future. From that moment on, Aureliano can't think about anything else. He tries to drown his feelings in booze, drinking until he feels like he's floating on air. In his half-drunk state, a woman comes to him. Aureliano's passion ignites instantly. He lets his instincts take over, not realizing the woman is Pilar, the fortune teller who had a kid with his brother Jose. Aureliano thinks it's all a dream and stumbles away. He gets up the courage to tell his parents about his feeling.
Estoy enamorado.
But when he says the girl's name is Remedios, Buendia clams up. Remedios is the daughter of the government-sent magistrate. As Macondo's founder, Buendia won't let politics taint his utopia. The magistrate who Buendia had kicked out is back with an army. The tension's so thick you could cut it with a knife. Buendia and his wife are worried sick, not just about their son falling for the enemy's daughter, but also about their lovesick daughter Rebecca. Even though Buendia and the magistrate are at each other's throats, Ursula and the magistrate's wife hit it off. She invites the magistrate's wife over. The magistrate's oldest daughter sneaks Rebecca a letter from Pietro, the piano player she's been pining for. Amaranta sees this and jealousy starts eating away at her. Remedios accidentally wanders into Aureliano's lab and right into his heart.
Qué lindo. ¿Lo hizo usted?
Te lo regalo.
Gracias.
Suddenly, the whole house is buzzing with love. Rebecca's so excited about Pietro's letter she can't sleep. His sweet words drive her wild, and she writes back just as passionately. They keep this secret correspondence going, both sweet and thrilling. When Pietro suddenly stops writing, Rebecca's a mess. Her extreme longing and anxiety bring back her dirt-eating habit. Her brother Aureliano's suffering too, scribbling his love's name all over his room. Even when Rebecca's bedridden with illness, she's still clutching Pietro's old letters. That's when Ursula finally figures out what's going on.
Te quiero.
Yo también te quiero.
Hearing Rebecca and Pietro's mushy love talk, Amaranta's heartbroken. She locks herself in the bathroom and starts hurting herself. Ursula realizes something's wrong and checks Amaranta's room, finding a bunch of unsent love letters. Turns out Amaranta's been in love with Pietro too. Stuck in unrequited love, Ursula regrets ever buying that damn piano. Even though she angrily burns all the letters, it doesn't stop what's coming. Finally, Buendia and Ursula give in, agreeing to let their kids marry who they want. This works better than any medicine. Rebecca's instantly cured and happily writes to Pietro with the good news. Meanwhile, Amaranta's seething with hatred for her sister. Soon after, Buendia and Ursula take their son to propose to the magistrate's family. When they hear Aureliano wants to marry their youngest daughter, the magistrate and his wife look shocked. After all, Remedios is still underage. Buendia and Ursula are embarrassed. They had no idea their son was into that. Ursula and the magistrate's wife decide to wait until Remedios is old enough to conceive before letting her marry Aureliano. Surprisingly, the magistrate agrees easily, but has one condition.
¿Se casan por la iglesia o no hay matrimonio?
Macondo siempre ha sido un pueblo laico.
Before Buendia can refuse, Aureliano jumps at the offer. Buendia knows the magistrate's trying to use religion to mess with Macondo's people's minds and break their will to resist. But Aureliano's too love-drunk to realize this. Feeling like he's losing his grip, Buendia vents to his old pal Melquiades. Melquiades is on his last legs and tells Buendia how to bring him back to life. The next day, Arcadio takes Melquiades to the river for a bath. But in the blink of an eye, Melquiades vanishes. Buendia and his friends search all night along the river, finally finding Melquiades drowned downstream. Buendia is convinced Melquiades is immortal. He follows Melquiades' instructions, earning mercury by his body for 3 days and nights. But no miracle happens.
Cerca de para. Ya es hora de que descanse en paz, Melquiades. Por favor.
Time has stopped, and eternity has begun. Buendia mumbles as he buries his old friend. Maybe that crow carried off Melquiades' soul, letting him rest peacefully in these quiet fields, long after everyone else has left. Arcadio's still kneeling at the grave. Melquiades' care had filled the hole left by his missing parents, but now he's alone again. Pilar hugs him, comforting him, but Arcadio doesn't know she's his mother. While some are grieving, others are celebrating. Pietro's back in Macondo to marry Rebecca. They're all lovey-dovey, making Amaranta sick with jealousy. Pietro tries to comfort her, promising to set her up with his brother, but this just twists the knife in her heart.
Juro que nunca te vas a casar con mi hermana. Así tengas que atravesar en la puerta mi propio cadáver.
Ursula overhears Amaranta's threats and realizes her worst fears are coming true. To keep Amaranta from doing something crazy, Ursula decides to take her on a trip to clear her head. Before they leave, Amaranta still snaps at Rebecca. Her hatred born from unrequited love sets the stage for the tragedy to come. Rebecca's unsettled by her sister's words and goes to Pilar for fortune-telling. The death card appears, meaning endings, changes, and new beginnings. Rebecca will find happiness, but the road there will be rocky.
Llegará como un vendaval y te revolcará la vida.
With his friend gone and his wife and daughter away, Buendia gets more and more depressed. Rebecca's always with Pietro. Aureliano's busy teaching his little fiancé, and Buendia, feeling ignored, shuts himself in his lab to pass the time. The wind-up toys Pietro brought inspire him to try making a perpetual motion machine. He throws himself into it like he did with alchemy when he was young, but it doesn't work out. Buendia's contraption runs for 3 days before stopping, and his time seems to stop at that moment too.
¿Qué día es hoy?
Jueves.
Sigue siendo lunes. La máquina del tiempo se ha averiado.
In a daze, Buendia sees the ghost of Aguilar, the man he killed when he was young. Melquiades' death was the first in Macondo since it was founded. Aguilar, following the scent of death, has found his way here. Time has worn away their old grudges, and now they're like old friends heading home together. Buendia's mind is completely gone, and madness follows.
Ukasawit, et eternità incapit, utsit, materia orgánica.
He suddenly has terrifying strength, and his family can't control him. It takes all the neighbors working together to restrain him, and they have no choice but to tie him to the old tree in the courtyard. When Ursula returns from her trip and opens the door, she sees her husband, foolish and dejected. Tears fill her eyes instantly. Choking back sobs, she unties the ropes around Buendia's feet, trying to make him more comfortable. Time is so cruel. The once passionate, determined young leader has faded into history. The glory of the first generation of the Buendia family comes to an end, while the twisted tales of the second and third generations are just beginning.